Hola amigos, how are we? Welcome to the live stream. Hope you're all well. It's Thursday. Where does the week go? Honestly, my weeks are like, honestly, I'll be 40 before you know it. How are you guys? Yeah, hope you're having a good trading day. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome back to Simply Forex. Thanks for tuning in. Let's do everything trading, right? So first of all, I'm going to show you a couple of trades that I am in and explain where I entered, why I entered, stop loss, target, etc. So we can understand the trades. We're also going to look at cross-referencing currency pairs. So bear with me if you're thinking, Tom, what the hell are you talking about? Don't worry, I shall explain. What else are we going to do? We're going to take as many of your questions as we can, as we always do, guys. You know, ask as many questions as you like about trading. And it can be anything. It can be strategy, psychology, money risk management. It can be support and resistance, trend, experiences, whatever you like, guys. All right. So don't be shy. Come ask me a question. Maybe a currency pair you're looking at. What else? Yeah, we're going to take a quick look at the news. There is no news during our live stream, but we do have a lot of US dollar data later, which is of interest to me because I am selling US dollar Swiss franc. So yeah, but that's another hour and a half away. All right, so we're not there yet. But let's start here. Let's start with New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, right? And I am selling this bad boy. So why am I selling this bad boy? Well, as you know by now, I like to be with daily trend. Not all of the time, but the majority of the time, I like to be with daily trend. And as you can see, we're getting lower highs, lower lows. We're clearly in a downtrend, right? You don't need to be the best trader in the world to see that's in a downtrend. Also, what else do we want to see? We want to see bearish candles. Those two bad boys. I don't know why everything is a bad boy today. I'm very ghetto today. But these two candles, look at the wicks on them. Cracking wicks. Got to be careful how you say that. But yeah, bearish wicks as well. We're also at a nice resistance level, right? We've got this gray zone, which is a resistance level, and we've got the moving average 20, right? So there's lots of things that I like to potentially take price all the way down to these lows, if not into this gray support zone. Okay. Now, if we drop to the H4, we haven't had a structure break, right? And in fact, my entry is aggressive. So let me explain why it's aggressive. Not like I started beating people up aggressive, but there's no one to beat up. Anyway, there's it's the price in which I got in at, because H4 really, if we're waiting for a structure break, right? I am seeing this though, right? We would really need to see a break of these lows, if not this, right? And that would be H4 structure break. But I am seeing lower highs, right? Remember, I'm selling this, so this is encouraging. Also, what gave me more confidence to get into the trade are the candles, really. If you look at the last three candles, right, and you asked yourself, if you look at those three candles and you asked yourself who is in control, right? All the men are thinking my missus is in control and I do what I'm told. You're not alone. That's exactly the same here. But I'm on about candles. Okay, so the last three candles, who's in control, right? Buyers or sellers? Now, I would say sellers, right? We've got a top wick, we've got a very bearish candle with very little bottom wick, and we've got another wick here as well, right? So this is telling me sellers are in control, right? Now, And these are, like I say, guys, this is everything that goes through my head before, excuse me, before I enter a trade, right? I'm looking at all of these things all of the time, right? Because I want as much confluence as possible for my trade, right? So let's look at the H1. Now, the H1, we are seeing, again, it's tricky, right? Because look, if I showed you this, right, you know, really we're in a downtrend because we're getting lower highs, right? But we haven't at any stage got any lower lows. Again, we haven't had a structure break. So that's why this trade is aggressive. But because I'm seeing these lower highs, right? I was looking at the I already like the weekly and daily. The H4, I'm seeing lower highs. The H1, I'm definitely seeing lower highs, right? And all I'm trying to do is just take it down to this support level, right? Back down to these lows in here. And that's where my alarm is, guys, right? And then my stop is above here, right? And I started selling about here, right? So I literally just get 1:1, all right? So yeah, those are all the reasons I took the trade. My risk to reward is still okay because I get 1:1, and we shall see, right? We shall see what happens, but I'm looking to sell it back down to here. All right, now, interestingly, depends who you are, you might not find this interesting, but interestingly, pound Canadian dollar, I want to buy, right? Because we are at this weekly support level, right? And as you can see, we keep getting these wicks at the bottom, right? We keep buyers just keep bouncing off this level, okay? If we drop down to the H4, we have, okay, we haven't quite, right? We haven't quite had a H4 structure break. That last high held. But if we look at, it did come down here, right? These lows haven't broken, they're holding. Now, again, a little bit of a in and out trade really, but if we got a break of this level, right, this H1 level, because price just doesn't know what to do here, okay? And it hasn't done for hours, right? This is just pure consolidation. And if we get a break to the upside, I would buy pound Canadian dollar, right? So we're going to look at cross currency referencing, right? You're probably like, Tom, that sounds like a load of old jargon, and it is a bit jargony. But basically what I'm saying is, if we get a break here, I want to buy pound Canadian dollar, right? And you have to bear in mind, I am in a New Zealand dollar, right? Bear with me. It takes a little while to write with the mouse pen. Just talk amongst yourselves. How's the weather? How's work going? Have you been to the pub recently? General chit chat. But if this break happens and I bought pound Canadian dollar, then does it make sense to sell New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar? Because this is Canadian dollar weakness and this is Canadian dollar strength. Now, that is still okay, right? Because you're assuming that pound is the strongest, right? The strongest currency out of these four. Canadian dollar is second strongest, and New Zealand dollar is the weakest, right? So that's what those trade ideas tell us, right? Now, if you think about this, then surely the trade, and you should really think like this, you should really think across currencies, right? Yeah, you should have that macro view of all 28 currency pairs. That's why I analyze them every morning, Yeah, because I want to understand what's strong, what isn't, what's correlated. Are there any cross references with currencies I can do? And this is what I'm talking about here. So if you think about this, the trade should be pound New Zealand dollar buys, right? It should. Yeah, this is the strongest according to our trades. This is the weakest. So this should be the trade. All right. So now let's take a look at pound New Zealand dollar, right? It'll be interesting. And funnily enough, I do like this trade from a weekly point of view, right? So you can see on the weekly chart, we were in this uptrend, right? And we've had a nice deep retrace. We're back at these highs. We've got the moving average 20 catching up, right? This could be a really nice area in here for buying pound New Zealand dollar. This is an old target. All right. So I do like pound New Zealand dollar. If we look at the day chart, we're also starting to see, you know, these buyers come into the market, similar to pound Canadian dollar, right? We saw those wicks bouncing up. So it's looking like this pound weakness that we've had could become pound strength for the short term, right? Just to trade the retrace even before it comes back down, right? But look at those candles, right? Look at those wicks. That's looking like buying pressure. Okay, so I am interested in pound New Zealand dollar buys, but we need a break, right? Not like a holiday. We need a break of structure, right? You can see prices come down, and we're in this downtrend, and then we're just absolute nothing. More nothing than don't know. Something with lots of nothing. Like Man United's football team, right? That has lots of nothing. And yes, that was meant to hurt Man United fans. I am a Liverpool fan, right? But if we get a break out of this level, I think we've got a nice trade. I know it's against trend, but I think this will be a nice trade, at least up to this last high here, if not a bit further. Okay, so my target would be this 2.1900 level. So yeah, we'll see. You know, I'm not going to trade it now. I need to see a break of this level. So pound New Zealand dollar and pound Canadian dollar, if we get those breaks, I'm interested in buying them. So there you go, guys. I wanted to share that. Right, let's see who's in the house. Before we do, if I could please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash that like button. While you smash the like button, I'm going to have a quick drink of coffee from my Liverpool mug. But it's charming listening to someone gulp coffee on a live stream. But I need it. Right, guys. So also, I wanted to mention this. We have launched the Simply Forex Complete Trading Course, guys. It is so comprehensive. It covers everything you need to not only understand trading, but thrive and get consistency, right? We give you strategies and techniques you can use from day one. We give you money and risk management. We teach you how to control your emotions. We look at hedging, correlations, managing trades, hedging, you know, a background into the financial industry. It's so comprehensive, guys, right? And we're really proud of what we've made. So if you're interested in improving as a trader, then please check out our website. Okay, you can see all the information above my head. And right now, we will give you 25% off our course if you use the code Simply25 at checkout. All right, and that promotion is only running until the end of January. So what we got? We got, okay, about 2 weeks left, right? So check it out, guys. Have a look. Right, what else are we looking at? Right, Godwin. Hi, Tom. How are you, Godwin? Nice to see you, mate. Heath, where the bloody hell have you been, Heath? How are you, mate? Welcome back. I'm good, thank you. Himanshu, is it a good time to sell Euro Aussie dollar? Okay, we'll take a look at that in a second, Himanshu. I appreciate the question. Mike, how are you? How are you getting on with the course? Godwin, pound New Zealand dollar. Okay, we'll take a look at that. We just touched on that, Godwin, actually. So we're on pound New Zealand dollar now, right? If we get a break of this level, right, like I say, maybe a little bit of a retrace. This is the H4. I would look to buy pound New Zealand dollar back up to this psychological level here. So I'm looking at buying pound New Zealand dollar because of that weekly level, right? So yeah, if that breaks, only if that breaks. Heath, can we look at the FTSE, Tom? Yes, no problem. I'd very much appreciate it. No problem. Ryan, you could also call them pin bars. Yes, you can. Right? You know, something like this, right, with a big wick on it, you can call them pin bars. Yeah, I just call them candles with a big wick, right? And who doesn't like a big wick? But yeah, you can call them pin bars. Absolutely. What else are we looking at? Yusuf. Hi, Yusuf. Jolma from Brazil. How are we? I was about to say hola, but it's Portuguese, so I would be wrong. Aya. Hi, Tom. If you're not yet profitable in the market, do you think it is important to spend more time behind the screen? That's a really good question, Aya. We'll take a look at that. Michael, good afternoon. Subdrama, how are you? Mike's in gold. Good. And Mike, okay, so Mike has taken the course, and Mike says the course is great. It's starting to make sense. Wonderful. Brilliant, Mike. We are so happy to hear that. Let's start with Godwin, right? If your name appears in green, guys, you are a Simply Forex member on YouTube, and we will answer your questions first. But we've answered Godwin's actually. So let's have a look at Euro Aussie dollar. And the question is it a good time to sell now? Okay. Looking at the weekly chart, definitely not. Right? Look at this weekly chart. In an uptrend, retrace to what was once resistance becomes support. Right? If anything, this in here is a wonderful buying level. Right? So the weekly would be no, don't short it. Excuse me. In quite the opposite. I would look to buy Euro Aussie dollar. Okay, but let's get more information. Let's look at the day chart. And the day chart is in a downtrend, right? It is. Okay, simple as that, right? We got lower highs, right? We don't have lower lows yet. Okay, so the downtrend hasn't been confirmed, right? But we do have lower highs. Now, again, do I want to sell here? The answer is no. This is daily support. This entire grey zone, excuse me, is an excellent support level. It's this coffee. I swear this coffee is a little bit special. You know, resistance becomes support, So no, I am not looking to sell Euro Aussie dollar. Okay, if anything, I would be looking to buy from these lows. Okay, and you can see we're getting this bullish reaction so far, although this is very bearish. So if this happened, right, if the following happened, let's say we ended up with a candle that looked like this, right, and we had a nice bullish green candle, right, knowing what we know from the weekly chart, right, we will look to buy. And then if we got a nice big bullish candle, I think potentially we could at least come back up to this level, right? But what would I want to see to enter, right? I would go down to the lower time frames, and I would want to see potentially a H4 break, right? But again, Himanshu, I'm just looking at the H4. I am not, these two candles, 1, 2, I am just not selling them. Yeah, they are so bullish, right? So what would I want to see? I'd want to see something like this, right? We're in a downtrend. Perhaps we get something like this, and then we get a break of this last high in here, right? Then I think we have there's a high probability we take price back up to here. Okay, on the H1, we may even already have a structure break. Let's take a look. Not really. Okay, we don't, right? Because we've had such a push down and then such a push up, right? So again, it's the same story. If we get a break of this level, I would look to buy back up to this level and put my stop loss below this swing low. Okay, so yeah, the opposite, Himanshu. I would be looking for Euro Aussie dollar buys. Hope that helps. What else are we looking at? We had a good question here from Aya, but let's look at the FTSE first of all. Where are you, FTSE? UK 100. Respect to the UK, my motherland. I don't know why I've become so gangster these days. It's unbelievable. Okay, right. So immediately, it's difficult to buy it. Right, this is the weekly chart, right? I'm going to refresh my level. There's no need to refresh those levels, to be honest with you. Those are pretty good levels, right? I might even do that. But those are good levels, right? On the weekly chart, we have come up to here. Let's just follow structure along, right? And this is where we're at, really. So we are in a range, stroke, downtrend, because we're getting lower lows, right? But we're not getting lower highs. So we're in a range stroke downtrend, right? I'm definitely not buying this. I cannot buy into that resistance, right? That would be mental. That's what crazy people do, right? Don't be crazy. Unless it's the weekend, then go mental, right? Do what you like. Unless you're under 18, then don't behave yourself. There you go, some parental advice as well on Simply Forex. Yeah, so I wouldn't buy it. And you know, to sell it, I want to see a bearish candle at this level, right? So I would like to see a bearish candle today, right? Then I would consider selling it. Because for me, it's in a downtrend, right? Sorry, not today. This is the weekly chart, right? Now let's look at the day chart. And this is clearly in an uptrend, right? It is. I would say it even started here, right? This is the structure and the trend is upwards. Higher lows, right? Higher highs. We're in an uptrend. But again, right? If we're in an uptrend, it doesn't matter what asset, what currency, what commodity, what indice. If we are doing this, right, we're in an uptrend, but we're hitting resistance, I pretty much know that I don't have a trade. Unless, right, we get a very... Okay, we'll take a look at those in a minute. Unless we get a very bearish candle up here, yeah, because we know this is a weekly level. But really, an uptrend into resistance, no trade, right? And you can already see that price has reached this level and we're getting a reaction, okay? So I don't want to keep buying into that. If we look at the H4, okay, this would suggest, this H4 candle would suggest, right, this H4 candle here would suggest maybe we have a little bit more room to the upside, right? But again, I would be looking for sells at this level and price breaking down. So right now on the FTSE, there's no trade there for me, right? There's just nothing I can get my teeth into. I don't want to buy into resistance. It's it's pretty overextended anyway, right? Price is all the way up here. Where would you put your stop? Down here, you know? So no trade for me. If anything, I would want to see price come into here and then price break down, something like this, right? And then we have a trade. So yeah, I would stay away from the FTSE until I see something I can get my teeth into in terms of price action. So yeah, I hope that helps, Heath. What else? Oh yeah, this is the question. All right. So Aya, hi Tom. If you're not yet profitable in the market, okay, so maybe you're a new trader or you've been trading for a short amount of time and you're not profitable, right? Do you think it is important to spend more time behind the screen? So, like most things with trading, it is very counterintuitive. One example is, you know, trading is one of those jobs. It is a job. It's my job. That if you do less, you get better results. What a wonderful job, right? Because if I stare at the screen all day, you know, I'll start seeing things that aren't there and potential setups, right? So I currently right now, I have very little screen time, right? I do my analysis in the morning, then I put some alarms in and I keep an eye on maybe 2, 3 or 4 pairs, right? Put my alarms in when they hit certain levels and then I spring into action like Chuck Norris, right? I must mention Fib Fug. Anyway, that was a VIP private joke in the Discord. I'll carry on. So yeah, I spend very little screen time. Right? I don't, you know, like I got into trading because of the freedom it gives me, right? So I don't want to be staring at a screen all day, right? That screams of the corporate world and things we don't want to do, right? But I'll tell you another thing. Ironically, when I started trading full time, my peepers did not leave the screen, right? Because I was like, right, it's my full-time job now. I've got to make this work. I'm gonna, you know, more hard work, more effort equals better results. And I got off to a pretty poor start because of that, right? So you have to break a lot of these mental things that are well established in your head, right? Less is more with trading. The more you stare at a screen, it doesn't mean you're going to be more productive or a better trader. Now, having said that, I have been trading for absolutely donkey's years, right? But if you're a new trader, then I do suggest screen time because you want to get a feel of how currencies move, how they react throughout the day, you know, how they react when the UK, when London opens, how they react when New York opens, how they behave during the Asian session, right? You will get a feel for these things, and that only comes from screen time, right? So it's really important. Also, currency pairs don't all move the same, right? If I compared pound Canadian dollar, that can move 50 pips in an hour, right? Whereas if we compared euro Swiss franc, it would take even a couple of days for euro Swiss franc to move 50 pips. So you'll get to know individual pairs as well, and that comes from screen time. And you just need screen time. You've got to get, you know, you've got to feel the charts, right? You've got to feel how they move, how price action works, you know, and lots of analysis, right? Keep analyzing currency pairs and pinpointing where you would enter. And because you need to find out if you are right or not, right? If you are picking out good entries if you're picking out good areas for entries. So yes, you need a lot of screen time if you are a new trader, just to practice, get used to the charts, how things move, the different sessions throughout the day, and also understand your own strategy and understand price action, right? And then once you're a more experienced trader, you will find less screen time is more beneficial to your bottom line, to your P&L, right? That's what, I found out the hard way when I made that step from part-time trader to full-time, right? When I gave up my 9-to-5 job and become a trader, it was mentally difficult because I was like, right, Tom, you've given up your job. This is going to be your income now. Let's make some money. Let's work hard. And that is all the wrong things you should be saying to yourself. Okay. And that's all the wrong things you should be saying to yourself, guys, right? So, yeah, new traders, you need that screen time. More experienced traders, less is best, right? And just set up your alarms, right? You can see I have my alarms over the screen. Okay, so New Zealand CAD's coming down nicely. Okay, almost at target. All right, we'll give that a little bit more time. So there you go, but really good question, right? I enjoyed that question. What else are we looking at? Okay, so Manish wants to look at let's go Swiss franc yen. Okay, so this was one of my trade ideas for today. Let's have a look at Swiss franc yen. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so if we start with the day chart, guys, right? You can see we're in a downtrend, right? Clearly in a downtrend. And I think this has a little bit more room to move into, okay? Back down to this 170 psychological level. Why do I think that? Because if we zoom out, you can see we've got this channel. My God, look at that line. And it happens to fall at the 170 level. So I think we have room down to here. Okay. If we drop to the H4 now, you can see we've had a nice bearish reaction, right, at our once support level, now resistance level, right? So this is a nice candle to potentially take price back down to that level. The only thing putting me off a little is this buying candle here. But let's take a look at the H1. And what I'd really like to see is potentially this, guys, right? For me to enter Swiss franc yen. So let's say this happens, it comes back up, tests these highs, and then we get a break on the H1. So at this point, you can imagine not only do we have a H4 downtrend, but we have a H1 downtrend as well, right? And I would look to take Swiss franc yen lower from there. But even if you just entered on the H4, it's looking pretty good. The other thing with it is I like to hide my stop losses behind the moving average 20. Right, I do. Okay, because I know price sometimes, that's the mean, and price wants to, it's attracted to the moving average 20, right? So even if price came up, moving average 20 came down, and we got this big wick like this, then I would be all over this to sell it. Okay, so we'll see what happens here with Swiss franc yen, but still a sell idea. If you're in this trade, I would still want to put my stops up here, to be honest with you. All right, so yeah, that's Swiss franc yen. Subdrama, so I have one question. You can have more than one question. It's no problem. You can ask as many questions as you like, guys. All I ask is that you please subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. And if you want to improve as a trader and get some consistent results, then check out our website where we have launched the new Simply Forex complete trading course, right? I put everything into this, guys, and you can get 25% off now if you use code simply25 at checkout, and that offer ends end of January. Subject, So subdrop, a market working on buyer, seller pressure or algorithms. A mixture of everything, right? You know, it's not one or the other, right? You know, you'll hear these comments like, oh, it's all algorithms that drive the market these days. It's not, right? But they are a part of it, right? You know, the biggest movers of the market, you know, are the big players, right? The hedge funds, the banks, the investment companies, right? You know, these are the ones that you should be wary of, not algos, right? So yeah, don't worry about algorithms. Worry about the big boys coming in, swiping out your stop loss, and then the trade going in the direction you wanted to. Yeah, that's what you need to worry about. And even then, when you know, I do look at areas where the big boys come and do liquidity grabs, right? But I don't get in straight away, right? I need to see market structure change on the lower time frames, and then I get involved, right? So, but yeah, don't worry about algorithms. Worry about the big boys in the markets. But yeah, I mean, the market is all made up of buyers and sellers. It's made up of three things. What drives the markets, right? So obviously you have fundamental and macroeconomic. Right. So, you know, macroeconomic is more, you know, Trump slapping tariffs on someone, or the war in Ukraine, or the you know, Middle Eastern conflict affecting oil, you know, this type of thing. Right. That's macroeconomic. OK, then you have sort of more fundamental news like what comes out of central banks, like interest rates, like GDP, like employment figures, like retail sales, like inflation figures, right? Those also are massive impactors on any asset. I don't care what you trade, they are affected by it, right? Then you also have sentiment. You know, is the sentiment bullish? Is the sentiment bearish? Right? What's the market's feeling? Right? What's its sentiment? All right. And then this is where technical trading comes in. So you have the macroeconomic fundamental and sentiment, right? And this drives the market. And then technical analysis allows you to get in on these moves, right? Because these moves are not just happening, you know, a big fundamental news is not just for one day, right? It's going to be over days, weeks, months even. So you've got plenty of time to get in on that fundamental macroeconomic piece of news, you know, by looking at the technicals. If your technicals set up, and also think of it like this, right? You know, you obviously you have fundamental traders, right? But let's say oil, right? There's some war in the Middle East, or one of the shipping lanes is closed down, right? And then we get a big dip in oil price, right? Now, when we see that on the chart, right, and we see price going from a daily uptrend to a daily downtrend, we technically trade it, right? So you don't, you know, in my opinion, you don't have to worry yourself about all this noise and news that's going on, because the chart will have been driven by that news anyway, and then you just use technicals to jump in on that move. I hope that made sense, because that's how it is. You know, technicals is like the roadmap of how to take advantage of the big moves, right? So yeah, that's what I would say about that. Right, well, so we're looking at okay, we've got another interesting question here. So BGP, what are your most profitable months, Tom? Do they correlate with the market seasonality? Thanks. So So every year, guys, I post my results, right? So we've done it for the last 2 years. So you have 2023 results. If you want to check out the vid, it's on YouTube. You can see my results. And we have 2024 results as well, right? So check it all out. It's all in there. Every trade is taken from the VIP Trading Academy, okay? Now, seasonality, no, right? I don't think of it like that, right? And to be honest with you, I don't spend a lot of time looking at statistics, right? What I do focus on, and what you should all focus on, is your performance. If your performance is bang on, right, you constantly enter good trades. And when I say good trades, I mean trades that fit your entry criteria, fit your money management and your psychology. Now, that's a good trade. Whether it is a successful trade or not, that's a different story. But all I can do is good trades according to my plan. Whether they work out or not, I let the market take care of that, right? I do manage my trades as well. So first and foremost, focus on performance, right? Focus less on, I can't say this, because you have two types of traders. You have traders who see trading as an art, which I do really, and reading the charts is an art. And you have other traders that are very statistically based, right? And they rely on statistics, right? Not one is not better than the other. Both are right. It's up to you how you trade, right? But you must understand price action. Now, I wouldn't say my results are seasonal. And to give you an idea, my best month last year was plus 13%. And I think my worst month was minus 4%. And another very important point is, because you have traders, right, who say, I just want to get, 2% a month and I'm done. Why on earth would you do that? When the market is in tune with your strategy, milk that teat, right? Then you'll end up with a plus 10%, 13% month like I did, right? And that's easy to trade. It is. You just do your entry criteria and they keep hitting target. You're like, this trading is bloody easy, right? But you don't find out what you're made of as a trader during those months. You give yourself a pat on the back and you think you're Warren Buffett, right? But the harsh reality is the next month could be minus 2%. It's not me being pessimistic. That's me being focused on performance, right? Don't get carried away with your statistics, good or bad, right? And then the real trick is when you have bad trading months, do not let them escalate, right? Because bad trade, let's say you have 4 or 5 losing trades in a month in a row, and I have, right? That's when emotions get involved, right? Because you're like, oh, do I need to change it? Can I tweak it a bit? Can I do this? Can I do that? And the answer is no. Carry on with your strategy that you know works, right? So managing your way out of those difficult months is where the real trading takes place for me. And there's a section in my course about managing trades. And that for me is the skill of trading, right? Anyone can pick an entry, I would say, right? Put a logical stop loss in and a logical target, right? But managing that trade successfully in terms of adding to the position or even closing it early, that's the real skill, and that's the skill you're going to need in the difficult months with trading. But yeah, I mean, my performance last year was like the first 6 months was negative month, very big positive month, negative month, very big positive month. It was like that. Then from July onwards, it was quite consistent, right? 3 or 4, 2% for a few months, and then a bad end to the year. November, December, we had some losses. So you know, just manage those bad months. That's the key. The good months are easy to trade. And on that bombshell, without using Top Gear's finishing quote, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash the like button. Check out the course, 25% off right now. Have a great trading day, and I'll see you.